Thank you very much, Seltzer, Zanpa. A little bit of favoritism there on the stage, I think, but much deserved after a great win.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm with Seltzer. I'm with Zampa. I kind of wanted to hear the comms coming in on that win. We'll have to see those in the replay.
Storm's comms are always risky decision. Anytime you go in there, you never know what you're
risky
get.
click.
Yeah, just a touch.
It definitely would have been the risky click of the day. If you want to see their comms, you can get on OGN Esports and let us know that you want to see them as a featured team. And then if they have the same scenario, you get to hear them.
How are they not?
Their fans aren't voting for
Get it
them.
together.
What is wrong with you guys? How are you
Twitter?
guys not voting for Tempo Storm?
Whoa.
I'm saying it.
Twitter Chan.
I like you.
I like you, but you're making poor decisions.
Let's be real. Let's talk about that game. Tempo comes out, wins big, sets a wonderful tempo for the rest of their day. These guys, I think, have been kind of a little shaky since the first, but 16K Club, first team to get into it this season.
Well,
great performance.
I mean, I was talking to you while we were watching the game. The position that they took in that circle at the radio tower is one of my favorite positions to see in that circle because you can just clean up so much from it, especially when you see it kind of on the edge there. They say they wanted to chase a few more kills off to the south. There really wasn't a whole lot going on to the south. There was a lot going on to the north, though, as we saw. I mean, crates, everything coming out of South George got insane. I
mean, from that point, they can see everything, but right now you can see the leaderboards. Let's pull them up and take a look at standings from that round. Day 4, match 1, Tempo with a 26 points.
That is absolutely huge. I mean, Cloud9, you guys had a great game, but 11 points to follow back behind that. You can just see the dip down going into Endemic. Player One Esports, they had that nice hold where they were trying to take on Lazarus, but it was just so many fights all around this. Falling back behind that, we got Rumblers, Accelerate, Lazarus, and Wildcard Gaming.
Look, you can't, obviously the show belongs to Tempo here. Cloud9 also having a great game, but once again, Endemic in the top 3, picking up a bunch of points here, really helping themselves out as we go on. We've seen them have a great week so far, quietly, but fantastically.
The thing that worries me, though, is Tempo is like a point sponge, right? The more points you put into them, the bigger and scarier and aggressive they get. And this is sort of like you just drop that dry sponge in the sink, and now they're hungry for more. They're looking for whatever they can take in. I'm scared of them in game 2.
Moses made a great point. They're a team that is so great on capitalizing at just the right moment. Whenever they see the opportunity, they'll take the risky push and go for it just to blow the game out and open. When they have a points lead, they just allows them to do it even more.
I mean, we talked about it yesterday a little bit. Tempo, one of those teams that's really, really good about snowballing. Once they start winning, once they start getting kills, they feel their shot is on, it gets real, real scary.
Once they find their tempo, they storm the field. That's generally why they go that way. Phase 2 overall rankings.
1 point.
Wow. You know, Rumblers knew they were coming, right? Rumblers wasn't that far ahead at the start of today.
But the climb from Tempo Storm, we were talking about, they were down in that 6th, 7th place position beforehand, all the way up to first place in 1 game. That is a strong showing.
The thing is, with the point total they pulled in, any team all the way down to 7th could take over first with 1 game of that caliber. That's the value and the danger of the 16K Club, right? Pulling in 26 points is an absolute insane amount to jump. On the other hand, Player One Esports still looking great. There was a moment where I thought David might actually win that one.
Yeah,
first down.
And look, UA David X, one of the big damage leaders on his team, one of the damage leaders in the whole NPL right now. But the other thing you got to keep in mind about Tempo is yes, these big games are super important. But you can't rely on them, right? And they don't rely on them. They play very well consistently across so that when they do get one of these games, they bounce way up.
All right, featured teams for this next round: Cloud9, Team NVE United, and Blue Martini Gaming. The guys that we love to watch and hope that maybe this will be Jason's chance to close it out in the next game. That said, you know the music. That means it's time for the next game, gentlemen. Let's head down to the floor to the 2 casters who are standing in the middle of all the action. Cammy D and WTF Moses.
Yes, we are in the middle. Well, we're off to the side. We're very close to the action is what I'm saying.
There's action everywhere.
There is action everywhere.
I'm dodging bullets.
I got to say, what a good game. I mean, Tempo, the thought I had is that they are great at just collecting as many points. They extract as many points out of a game as they can. But in this case, they took so many points that no one else got any.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a bullet sponge there, but that's what happens when you're in the center of the circle and no one else is anywhere to rotate. You just clean up all those kills.
Right.
It was hard to keep track of a lot of them. I actually didn't see that they got all 16 of those kills because they were just picking them off from different teams every time. It wasn't a full team fight that they were able to get them from until the very end.
They like to graze. They just like walk around grazing points up at different teams before they secure a 26-point victory. You know, we were talking in the early game and the pre-show about the difficulty of the NPL lobby. How now it's so much more difficult to get those points, less free points, and maybe Tempo has kind of been experiencing that as they have to now work harder for those points. It's not easier to clean up. And shout out to Noble. It's not, you know, they're not cleaning up the Nobles of the world anymore. Even Pecadores is a better squad than the worst squad we had last season.
Yeah, still getting 0-point games, but yeah, sure, okay. I mean, it tracks.
Yeah, I mean, 0-point games are definitely a normal seed right now for unfortunate Pecadores, but for all these other squads, it's different. It's hard to get points now. So teams like Tempo are going to be having these bigger games, and that's going to make it much more hard to catch them.
Yeah, and Tempo, it wasn't like their hard and fast rule, but they did like to play closer to the edge and sort of clear out their corners like methodically at a time. But because the lobby is harder, the lobby is better, it's not going to be coming as easy for them, which is perhaps why you see a little bit of a, I guess, change in pace for them last game of playing a more center position.
Right, absolutely. So for now, Miramar, game number 2. We have a little bit of a not a great playing path here, as the northern side can be harder to get to. Lazarus, Ghost Gaming, they're going to be feeling okay. But if you're a team headed to a place like Pozo or even further north than that, it's going to be difficult to get up there. And having those quick early game loots is so important in Miramar.
It's also really, really important to know where all the what do we call them? The esports spawn vehicles are?
Absolutely.
Where the vehicle is going to be there 100% of the time. And in a plane like this, if you got to go northwest, you need to know where you can get a vehicle, because pulling your chute early and just kind of swinging the entire way can take way too long. Super is faster right now in the Pro League. And so you need to use your time as efficiently as possible.
You know, it cannot be understated how little time is, or how little time there is, I should say, in the early game to loot. Just how quickly those 5 minutes goes by. Yes, I can see you pointing at the map, and yes, we are going all the way south and all the way west. Potential island circle here.
No, I was just pointing to the fact that we already see the first circle, and Lazarus, Blue Martini we're still flying in the air.
Yeah,
so that was just reiterating that point.
And that's what I mean, man, is like that minute and a half where you see the first circle, BMG has not even hit the ground yet. So that's going to be time they're losing. And in these water-ish circles where you have to come all the way south like this, there's even a portion of the map on the western side that's impassable, and there's no value spots over there. So where Rumblers are right now, where Space Station Gaming is at, those are the high quality spots, and 90% of these teams are outside the circle right now.
Yeah, what's really good for those teams but bad for everyone else is the fact that the plane started in the southwest. So all the teams that dropped in the southwest, they had a head start on loot and now have a head start on rotation as well, and so it just puts them in a really good position. Rumblers, I missed where they are currently on the leaderboard, but coming in today in first place, this is good for them. But
they're essentially tied for second place.
We'll see what happens to Space Station and Accelerate. Both teams have not had as good of a phase as anyone was expecting for them. Different levels for both of them, but nonetheless, we've always wanted to see more from both of these squads.
I did not expect to see SSG where they're at right now. I mean, coming in as a new signed team to an org that's been in PUBG for almost as long as anybody else, to have the lack of success that they've been experiencing right now is both surprising, but it's just the way they've been experiencing these difficulties is just not standard. It's not a luck thing. It's just an execution thing for them right now, and that's not something we've seen from the X-Optic, XY Temp Fate roster.
It's okay.
Shockingly, Cameron disagrees.
I do actually. I think we've seen time and time again this roster fail to execute historically, but we can talk about that at a different time because we got Cloud9 rotating.
Yeah, Cloud9's in their vehicles coming out of Picado, headed straight south. The Rumblers are still in their loot split right now, likely not going to be prepared for Cloud9 to be coming this quickly. So for 3.5 minutes, that is blazingly quick to finish your loot phase in this game, and that's going to give them that opportunity to grab that juicy center position. Where they decide to go with it, they might shade north cam to avoid if that water circle comes out, or sorry, the water comes out of the circle a little bit earlier and the circle shifts north.
Yeah, I don't expect a lot of people to be going too far south. I don't expect more than maybe one team actually hit that island in the first circle, but what's being hit is J-Sank, and he's trying to hit and return.
This is going to be a very pivotal fight now. It's going to be J-Sank. I believe he's got Baja with him. It's a 2v2 situation. E United already chucking grenades over, but guess what? Nade meta, by the way. Baja Waka lands the opening barrage, and that's going to be Taylor, likely the first one out of this lobby, as now here comes the backup. E United barreling in from the other side of the map. And it's going to be Pistola coming to a quick stop stab, trying to evade, but he's been spotted by Baja. Got the 3 times at the ready, waiting for the head to reveal itself. There it is, and he's going to have him completely lined up. Stab doesn't even have his gun out, and he's dancing, but he can't get away. And J-Sank will finish off both of those kills, or excuse me, Baja will finish one, J-Sank the other, and that's 2 quick points. You know, clearly, Cameron, if we want a team to do well, all we got to do is say they're playing poorly.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that yesterday as well. United slipped down to 5th from 1st place, and they're still not having the best of times, losing 2 players, SSG picking up 2. You could actually see Stab's buggy slide off away from him, which is why he was caught running out in the open street. You got to hit that emergency brake, boys.
I, for one, am proud of the vehicle physics. The buggy rolling away. You know what, man? Even on an even plane, sometimes it's just gonna roll slowly away from you. But that was just an unfortunate crossing of teams there for E United. And there's actually Nerf taking some shots at the other side of Space Station Gaming, who's way up on top of the hill. I believe that is Valiate taking those shots.
Yeah, Space Station, they looted basically center circle or as close as you can expect. And so they used that priority of rotation to get a split position and wait for the second circle. The downside is that it means you can get collapsed upon, like what almost happened to the other duo. But with the rockiness of this area of Miramar, you can actually limit engagements relatively well. And it's rare to expect anyone to crash on, but C9, they're just holding W. That is the C9 way. They are running up the hill. In this early game, there is a low risk of third partying because so many people are still rotating in, especially in this circle. And so I don't even know if Hetro, Hetro, is he even on a spot anything? He spots one.
Yeah, he's going to see only one player from C9. That's going to be a bit of a question mark. Like, what are they doing on this side? But there's no, like, if they can't trade or if Hetro can't get the upper hand here, this is not going to be easy. That nade looks like it could be okay, but it's a little bit further away. Nerf and all of Cloud9 just trying to find an easy way, or the best way, rather, to get up the side of this hill. Very drastic inclines on this mountainous area. Profi making the first way up. He's going to be the pioneer, and he's in a very pivotal position. Has not been spotted by either side just yet, and he's looking for Valiate, but no visual information. Valiate might spot him here quickly. The mini does come out, and Profi, he doesn't have a helmet on. Valiate erased immediately, and just like that, Space Station's benefits are now coming into woes as Profi now looking for more. Nerf looking for another side. He spots the rest of Space Station, but not before they spot him, and now Nerf is going to be quickly flushed.
It was a good backup call from the rest of Space Station, able to trade 1 for 1. Valiate does bleed out, but Nerf goes down as well. It's now a 3v3, and they can pincer in on this fight. Headshore, he flexed east from this compound, but Cloud9 now have control on it. But look at this ridge that Headshore is playing over. Does he spot Profi? Profi trying to peek around the side.
Headshore still trying to gain elevation, looking for any visuals, but will not be able to spot Profi right away. He's only got that red dot so far, but it's hard to see. Cam, he blends in. They're wearing all that yellow. It's, you know, it's a yellow map. You can't see a damn thing. Venerated, he's been spotted, however. It's David, and unlucky for Venerated. And the rest of Envy is there to support. Pat Caps will step up, but not before Venerated gets flushed out. And there he goes. D-Treats will go with the nade and more down the hill. And they're going to be forced back into the garage. And this center zone, this upside of the hill, has become a massive battleground as all teams are looking to grab these spots. And it looks like Envy is going to back all the way off the quick reverse, but nice reversal there from Pat Caps. As, David looking for more bolt action shots. They've got Envy sewn up here, Cam.
Oh, not landing them, but putting pressure and is able to force Pat Caps away. Now, do they want to commit themselves into this or just take the free damage and not, you know, overextend to do so? Pat heals up, Moody heals up, but still the upper ground controlled by player 1. More nades come out from Gila.
Looking for any info, any way to land some damage on Envy, but they're backing up further and further away. Envy has got to recognize that it's going to be difficult for them to really get anything that they can capitalize on. Even if you get a down, that would mean you have to push over, try and secure it. But for Player 1 Esports, they're just looking to try and pick off some heads here. David's got the M24. He's looking for anything right now, but this is a kind of a stalemate right now. I don't think either team, Cam, wants to commit to this.
Yeah, that's where the nades are coming out, especially by player 1. If they can get a knock by one of those nades, if they can get 2 knocks with 1 nade, they're going to flood down that hill like Huns.
All right, so for Envy, I mean, it's just kind of a waiting game. They're still in the zone. They're nice and center. And this is a previous fight. This is E United and Space Station Gaming. Again, this is the initial down onto Taylor. with that grenade, and that kind of spelled the end. But for Space Station Gaming, they were managing multiple fights, Cam.
Yeah, good management with that fight, even after losing Valley 8.
That was a great shot by Profi.
Such a great shot by Profi. And I don't know if it would have been as successful if they didn't remove Valley 8's helmet earlier. We saw a couple of shots before they pushed up that hill.
Absolutely.
So all damage can lead into something.
Player One Esports still kind of jousting with Envy, and we can see the other circle, the next circle rather, has revealed itself. Ghost shooting down towards Simplicity, who is dealing with Denial, that northern side. A bit of a mess right now. A lot of jam-packed action happening around Lazarus, Rumblers, Ghost. So many teams trying to come. This is, again, that southern circle issue. Yeah. When you have that drastic shift and you go all the way south out of the center of the map, it becomes a bloodbath on the northern side, and Ghost dead center again.
Not a lot of people south. Rumblers right now trying to rotate in, maybe caught by Lazarus, but Lazarus want to rotate in themselves, trying to get as close to center as possible. They're both inside the circle, but we saw what happened actually to at least Rumblers, but a little bit of Lazarus as well last game, just not being center enough and the circle pulling away from them. So they want to put themselves in as good a position as possible to collect kills. Rumblers so far with 0, but they're able to find a compound about 3/4, like halfway away from the center.
Just past the 10-minute mark. It's normally, I don't think with a regular Miramar circle, we don't have 58 alive this early in the game. But with just how much teams have had to travel so far, actually, I think Wildcard has been kind of the benefactor. They're on the southern side. But Envy, again, just still trying to find any information onto Player One Esports. There's a lot of pressure happening around Ghost Gaming. But for Envy and Player One Esports, it's a very important pivotal battle here, because if they wipe each other out, they have a ton of space to work with.
I like what Player One are doing. They're leaving 2 players essentially to be the babysitters of Envy, but they have 2 others trying to flex around the sides to make sure that they're not focusing so hard on one team that they get third party and approached by another squad. And so they're using their management of their spacing very, very well to try and get the kills that they can in the early game.
If Envy gets any pressure from the northern side, say Denial comes their way,
yeah.
BMG, for instance, somehow makes their way over to them, that means that Player One Esports can then flex and try and pinch Envy and try and pick up some kills, maybe even try and get some additional fights going with whoever comes on that side. So for Player One Esports, like you said, Cam, it's about babysitting right now, just waiting. And BMG is hurtling through Val Del Mar. They're all in their vehicles, and they're headed right through the center. Accelerate Gaming, and actually, this Pecador is kind of battling elsewhere. This looks like an easy approach for BMG.
It is, but look at Trevor and Cloud Terror are actually holding the exit of Valdemar, waiting to see if they can't catch any late rotations like BMG. Remember, BMG actually had to fly the furthest away from the plane path, and Trevor, he is going to get a knock onto Clam.
A quick flush as well, and that's going to be 1 down and out. And that's a little bit of a greedy push in, coming all the way through on the main road of Val Del Mar. They made it that far, but man, they kind of pushed their luck a little bit. And now with the circle coming in from behind, they don't have to move right away, but you have to expect BMG is going to have to move again. Trevor already picking up a kill, and it's going to basically center right up around Space Station Gaming and United the next circle. So now it's a matter of movement, as everyone's going to have to move towards C9 and Lazarus. If you're on this side of the map, the northern side still a question mark. This is the hump teams have to get over if they want to try and get to the late game.
Accelerate trying to leave this. They don't want to commit to this because they want to get into the circle themselves, and they can just roll down this southern highway to get into the south, cut in below where Wildcard and Cloud9 are currently chilling out. And this does give an opening, an opportunity for BMG to push in themselves, but they don't know that they left. They suspect that it may be bait. They don't know that Accelerate were in a 2-2 split. And so they're going to go the safer option and wrap all the way back up into the blue and perhaps wrap up from the northwest, but they're going to be running through the other half of Accelerate. Perhaps Pecadores, Lazarus right in their way.
Lazarus is, I think, too high, actually. Like, they're in a very, very high position. One of the highest on the entire map. Hetror, he's got the line with the M4. No shots landing. That's a bit of a rare showing there for Hetror. Relatively simple spray, but unable to get the damage down. The Mini will follow up, and there's a couple of shots landing, but looks like, there it is. He'll get you eventually, and he gets down to find legit off the back of the motorcycle, and the quick flush. So another point going to Space Station.
The mark of a good entertainer is knowing how to use tension, and that's exactly what he did there.
You thought I was going to miss all these shots, did you? Well, guess what? Fine. Space Station now with 4 kills. Listen, it started a little rough.
Yeah.
They lost a player, but hey, 4 points this early in the game. This is how you might spring towards that 12, 13 kill mark that gets you up the leaderboard.
They have half the kills so far, so it's certainly a good start. They have a good position, virtually dead center in the circle. United, though, just to the east of them, not too far away. Very wounded, though, after losing Taylor J and Stab, and just seeing if they can't find anyone else approaching them.
Lazarus and Pecadorus, they are kind of in a high ground, low ground spot with Ghost coming the other direction. And you can see Endemic transitioning their vehicle, something actually on foot close enough to Envy that they're going to hear this vehicle denial. That's a lot of shots. That thing's on fire. There he goes. Crispy going to get down Sharu, but there's more trades happening. And all over the map, you can feel the pressure mounting as fight after fight is sparking all around as anyone who wasn't in the zone is looking for a home now.
So during that crash from Endemic onto Denial, actually Hetror put some damage in as well, and I believe it's just Crow left for Denial center, but with only one man standing. Not a good look for them. McCoy gets a couple of kills, but Moody, they are still trapped. No, this BMG, they didn't wrap north, they actually wrapped down south onto the island to swim across. It's a risky play. If they get spotted, they're going to be literal fish in the water. Not literal fish, they're humans, but in the water.
Okay.
But no one else is going to be on the southern side because it's so far away.
This is a very BMG play, I guess, but they did it. This is looking back.
They sure did that.
At Denial, Soapylicious going down, and this is Define Legit trying to make his way out of the harmful gaze rather of Hetror, who will take him down with a nice headshot off the back of the bike, and the quick finish as he does his desperate death twirl.
Quick dance.
Quick dance. But oh man, Simplicity dead center, and Hetror again picking up additional kills on the check shooter. They must have their ears burning. We were trash talking a little bit earlier.
Hey, Hetror, your shit. Get 10 more kills.
Wow, I like it. Like the intensity. Shrimzy, he's bringing his own intensity as he's got Pecadorus above him. This is a fight that Ghost wants to take. They want to get through Pecadorus, get the points, and move on. But they've been stymied a little bit as Balak in the down state looking to be rezzed. Drassel holding security. Shrimzy right on the... Oh, he's going to let... Oh, Pecadorus is going to run right past him. Maybe. He's going to spot him out. Oh, he doesn't win the trade. Voxic brings that to him and says, no, thank you. And now Pecadorus in the low ground is going to have the rest of Ghost to deal with. And it looks like Rumblers are playing a factor as well, a little bit further away. They've got direct line of sight. And just like that, Pecadorus finds themselves 2-man up and in a pinch.
If the Rumblers weren't there third partying in this, that would have been perfect timing for Pecadorus because the rest of Ghost weren't available to help Shrimzy when the peak came out. Balak does answer back, gets a down and a kill onto Voxic, and it's just D-Master left, stuck in a shack. It's obvious that he's there. He's prepping a nade to see if he can't stop the push and get it down and perhaps a flush before he's finished.
Looks okay, but I was going to say, do you think Oh, D-Master, what a nade onto Balak. Out of line of sight, but not out of harm's way as the follow-up will come, and they got to be careful. A nice flush D-Master to the grenade. The grenade meta is just playing a huge factor, but not as big a factor as Waldo with that mini at distance as D-Master's finished off, but not before he gets a gift from Ghost Gaming. Drassel McCoy, that's a smoking motorcycle. Drassel trying to make his way into the zone. He's got McCoy ahead of him in the buggy. Space Station Gaming, finally their reign of terror comes to an end as Lazarus will finish them off. And now for Ghost Gaming, they did get through Pecadorus, but not without taking damage.
So here's the downside to Blue Martini game, or one of their many downsides to that rotation is that they lost their vehicle. So doing so, Sokol pulled away from them, and now they got to run on foot, but H-Wing gets the knock onto Alo, who had just flushed Space Station out, but now they got to come into another fight. H-Wing gets finished, though, trade by Purdy.
Nice finish there as well as K-Mine and Cloud9 will be eliminated as well. 14th place finish for them. And they have to put their smokes down. Does Lazarus. They've got 3 kill points. They're trying to maintain a little bit of spacing. They've got Simplicity and Rumblers coming from other directions. So now for Lazarus, they're going to be watching towards the Rumblers, but can hear Drassel, maybe spotting him as well. Civ looking to see if he's got time and space to land some shots. Meanwhile, Zampa and Tempo Storm are looking at Accelerate Gaming. They've come out of Val Del Mar relatively slowly, and they are pushing it hard. They've got 1 down, and they're in the smoke. Tetra, no grenades into the smoke, and they're going to punish immediately. Tetra going to get down. I'm wondering why he didn't nade the smoke there. As there comes the follow-up grenades, but maybe a little bit too late. The res was finished, and Accelerate Gaming might have missed their opportunity. Zampa is going to be dealing with Disciple on the high side. The flush not happening just yet as Cloudtail is going for the defense, looking for another as Disciple again looking for it. He will get the down. Accelerate maybe having an upper hand here. Trevor's very low health, Cameron.
it started to look like a really good turn for Tempo Storm, but Accelerate able to surround around them. Disciple will get a good couple of knocks. Your boy Dre's down. Sharky can't get the revive because the blue is pushing in.
Trevor's
Accelerate, though, they're pretty wounded themselves. And yeah, Trevor, he's almost in the blue himself. And so it's still almost a 2v1.
Yeah,
Sharky and Maluk
Trevor's
versus
out of
Disciple.
position here. I don't think he can do anything here. And it's going to be Disciple trying to defend. It's Wildcard in the back line. He does get, I think he did get Trevor down and out. So Trevor, while unable to help his teammate, he's got Disciple carrying the game on his shoulders. They've got 5 kills. The nade comes across. That lands close, and it's not going to happen. Accelerate taken down by Tempo, but they did do some damage. And guess what? It's Player One Esports. And Carbon goes down and using his battle cry lets everyone know he's not happy here in the stadium.
So Envy, they had to push through Player One, and they are just gonna go straight ahead and try and get some nades. D-Treats has already gotten down. The revive is coming through, but can the follow-up nade get it?
Wow, and Taro lands a perfect nade. Gila is now gonna have to deal with, actually Lampalot as well. They're gonna get a nice flank onto Interrogate. Now he's the last man standing as he's gonna be defending as they go for the res. Player One Esports trying to keep this round in pocket. But Taro is now going to be looking to push the action, looking for that finish, and here comes the grenade. Who would have thought a grenade would be used in such a way? It comes up and over. I wonder what the prime looked like. A little bit too short. That nade lands and does not do any damage, so David's going to back away, and Taro maybe missing his window of opportunity.
Trying to get the meds, Player One. They know there's one left, but they need to move themselves. And so they hope that Intero is either rotating away or going to push straight forward into them because time is not on either of these two squad sides. Interrogate, though, he doesn't want to go too aggressive. And Player One, they have no choice but to basically hoof it on foot.
And here comes some shots onto Interrogate. Player One Esports has spotted him out. I got to wonder for BMG, is it a fun experience to have Carbon yell an F-bomb into your ears every time he gets eliminated?
Player One running away from Interrogate, but by doing so, running directly into Tempo Storm, but they do get a knock onto Sharky.
Lampalot looking downhill. Tempo has been taking fight after fight, and it's not been easy for them. But they're wondering about Intero still. Lampalot coming back to provide rear security. Intero actually doing enough mental damage to Player One Esports. Even though they do get the kill, they also allowed Tempo to get the res.
Look at Aguila, though.
Another nade comes uphill, looking for a little bit of damage. Aguila's very close by, and they're looking for a trade. Maluk will step over and get the flush as well. And here comes David from above, looking for any angle. Lampalot will get another one down. I think Tempo's got to be down to their last man, and it is Sharky getting sprayed at from distance, the 6-time scope. Nice little spray there, but no damage landing. Player One Esports trying to finish off the winners of last game.
They have no nades, or else they'd be flying in that little pocket. So instead, Lampalot peeker on the side, but Maluk almost got the correction.
Wasn't able to get it, and there goes Tempo Storm, 10th place this game, 1st place last game. And Simplicity, while they've taken a lot of shots, have the center of the zone. We're about to see another shift as Ghost will be finished off by Wildcard. And there's the shift, relatively centered up. Crow and Simplicity, almost the only teams, rather the only players in the next zone, as the Rumblers again find themselves 3 strong in the high ground, something the last man for Endemic. Interesting ending here, Cam.
It's basically a valley, which is why you see the two east and west sides. They really just going to care about each other before they could see across, and they can maybe get a couple of shots, but they need to worry about their immediate areas before they can focus on even the dead center. But that's just going to be a bomb run down both sides of those hills.
Pistola time, he's got the SKS. He's looking around. United, they lost too early, but have managed to stay alive so far. They got 6 grenades at the ready. They are prepared for the end game. Let's see, for Player One Esports, man, what a grind for them this game. Team after team has tried to displace them off their hilltop, but they maintain their position up there. But now they have to come down the sides. So Simplicity, I think, are basically snaking right now. Not really snaking next to his vehicle, but hard to fight out of that valley, Cam.
Yeah, it's a similar situation to the win that they had yesterday on Miramar,
right,
where they're in the center, but they didn't have a lot of vision, didn't have a lot of area to take fights. Player One right now, they know someone's in that compound. It's a compound in the circle. This late of a game, someone is definitely in there. Couldn't spot anyone out to get perhaps a headshot, and so instead they're going to try and wrap up north so they don't have to take that immediate fight.
I'm wondering about Wildcard. They're the only ones who seem to be relatively active, moving, trying to find a place in the circle.
Because they're not in the circle.
Well, I mean, they're south of Lazarus right now. You can kind of see on the top right of the screen. But for Rumblers, they've got Endemic. It's the last man, something kind of lurking, looking for information. But this is a relatively slow circle, as, I mean, a lot of damage coming through that 20-minute hump. Not a lot of time and space in this valley. I think is a big problem if you're not Simplicity.
Yeah, Simplicity, actually, it looked like they spotted out player one, sent a couple of shots. Rumbler's now doing the same thing. And so player one still not in the circle, already spotted out. It's going to be rough for them, but Wildcard trying to push up north. Lazarus here, them Uncivil once again, lying prone. Adam with the support. Gets a little bit of damage, but not enough, and immediately taken down. Lazarus.
I like the idea from Civ. They're trying to maybe punish a peek, but unable to get the support from Adam, who went down first. And Wildcard will easily take the zone, and now they've got a ton of space to work with. Microfight actually welcoming Wildcard into the zone with the mini at distance, trying to find those shots. While they have a lot of space, they don't actually have a lot of cover to work with. Microfry applying a ton of pressure. And you can hear shots now popping off as it looks like player one Esports is actually going to send it right into the valley, right below Rumblers. And they're going to have an immediate response as they run to meet them. Rumblers are not going to allow them to get situated. And there it is. The air burst on top of David, who has been down repeatedly. But that's the last time as he gets flushed out by Godspeed. And just like that, player one Esports has only Lampalot left. And he's got vision his way as well. He's not feeling very good, Cam.
Nah, he's got a circle covering him. You see all the bullets just barely missing his body, so he's just trying to wait it out and hope, please, 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 someone distract these guys shooting at me, because he's in the circle. The circle did shift away from them, and I like the idea of sending a player onto the opposite side to try and hedge their bets, but there's not a lot he can do. He's going to be going through all his smokes. They used all their frag grenades against Envy, and now what smokes they have right now, it's going to be used up in a matter of minutes.
This is a look back through this round, and all these different players getting finished off one at a time, as it was a lot of single solo players just trying to make their way into the circle, but unable to survive much longer than Drassel did there. As now it looks like Wildcard pushing on E United.
Actually pushing directly in onto E United.
I like that little trade there, but not before Geist cleans him up. And that's a nice little trade there. I really like how Pistola Time was able to do so much damage, and Geist will go in for the finish. And just like that, Wildcard is up, but the circle is closing. They are 100% out of time, and they've got some distance to cover as well. Will they be able to make it as two? No time to med for E United. They've got to book it straight into the zone.
Looks like they're spotted, but it's also spotted as Rumblers. Godspeed sprayed down by something. Didn't know that someone was still behind him.
He didn't get the finish. Oh, something unable to get it. I don't think he was able to. No, Godspeed is still alive. I think he showed him the pan, and the pan did its job. Unlucky for something, gets nothing for it, and the quick res from Microfry. Nice composure and nice reaction time from the Rumblers.
But actually, Lampalot finds an opportunity to run forward, almost had a tree to cover, but he's gonna go even further forward, trying to get dead center, but he's takes a shot, drops the smoke. Can he get to the further tree? He's gonna prone on top of this, I guess, peninsula. No, the shot comes in from Microfry, a little too ambitious.
I don't know. I like he had the bush to work with. He had the smoke down.
Yeah.
He sits to the side of the smoke so he doesn't get spammed in it. I like the play. I mean, Lampalot doesn't have a lot of choices coming downhill there.
Yeah, that's fair.
But Micro has been on point with the mini, and he's been playing a big factor in the run now that the Rumblers are going on. They've got 3 strong, and they have the man advantage across all the other teams, and now they have the circle as well. Cherry Poppins getting splattered by E United at distance with the SLR. Pistola Time having meted, and now getting, he's actually getting down by Microfry again. Micro has been playing a massive factor, but they will steal it away. And Micro not happy about that as he's using the Carbon calling card, dropping a little sentiment there for everyone to hear. As Crow again has not moved.
Does nothing.
But he's collecting placement points one at a time.
There's not much you can do from that shack. It's open area around him. He doesn't have a vehicle, and everyone else is on the high ground above him, just spamming around.
You open 320.
Right side.
They know me. They know I'm here.
You guys at least. You can go further up right if you want. You put pressure on you guys. You can go all the way up right. Full smokes, left and right. Yep, that one. Where's that
Maybe we
silence?
should push from above.
I think you guys have to go under.
I'm gonna check above.
We have to go under.
Watch out, so there could be someone here. How many smokes do you have?
1.
We each have 1.
You should have LOS on them when they come.
Are you
Guess we have to run
100%
down
sure
the
I
hill.
can't play here?
Ah, shit, green's in actually.
The solo might be in, bro. 1 sec.
Gotta let me know quick. I have to go down.
Just go down, guys, go down.
Down or up? What the?
Probably up. Up is safe. Up is safe, I think.
Just trying to find a
It's
spot.
for 1 circle, it's safe.
You have to frag out up here.
We have a tree that LOS. Yep, it's safe.
Okay, the right smoke, the guy was looking.
You know, you're not behind the tree, by the way. There could be a solo up here. I think you guys kill Rumblers on green while you're up here.
Bunch of smokes and nades and shit.
The last guy should be Shaq. You go around for the solo as well. You go around for the solo.
Yo,
you see them? You see them? Three of
You
them.
guys all open.
I'm healing. I gotta heal.
On you? Oh, he got me through the 3. Fuck. Smoke.
Blue.
Ah, fucking A, man.
Good try.
Nice try there. You can hear they're just trying to fight for position cam, but they didn't have the cover to work with. And again, the Rumblers using the smoke and the long arm of the minis and the DMRs just doing a lot of damage to a team who had taken a lot of damage up to that point.
Yeah, so the high ground, once again on Miramar, playing into the Rumblers' position, they did a good number of kills, but now that they have to push out, where do they go? Do they know where everyone who's still alive is?
You can hear them, even United was talking about it, to check the shacks. Rumblers have got to be feeling the same way, and they luckily only have to contend with solos. So it's a matter of staying together, avoiding any situations where they get split out, but they have to be careful not to be surprised by a player like Penta. They haven't seen Crow yet, obviously, so both these guys are just waiting each other out. It's more of a game between Crow and Penta than it is from the Rumblers.
Ooh, Penta pounces, gets it down, can't get a second.
He did a lot of damage to the Rumblers there. If Crow decides to pop up, we haven't seen much out of him just yet, but here comes the shots. That's
this is big.
1v1 situation. Micro has to med. It's a full health Crow right now. Micro does get the med off, but whatever his boost like, and Crow's gonna clean up, get up a couple of points here, and just like that, it's a 1v1.
Micro trying to light prone, but the nade comes in. Crow still with nades. He's been silent all game.
Looking good here. I mean, Micro now has an idea where that nade came from. No vision for Crow just yet. Micro's got a bit of a ridge to work with. I can't see who's closer to center. I think it's actually almost even. So both players are going to have the blue at their back. There's a minute and 15 seconds to play with. The smoke comes out. That's going to give Crow... He's actually going to take some vision away from himself. He's going to block the line of sight from Micro as well, but Micro's only got smokes, no grenades. Crow's got an idea. The spray comes back, so both players know where each other are. Micro's got the health disadvantage. Crow, another smoke. He's just trying to defend the center position here to get closer and closer, use the zone against Micro Fry. Sprays again, trading. No damage landing for either player. Oh, wide in the open. Crow's got him! And there it is! Denial takes the game in a tense 1v1 situation.
Uses the smoke to his advantage. He knew that Micro was into the dip, and that gives you a heavy advantage compared to when all you have for cover is a couple of different trees. But he used the smokes, kept ducking back and forth to keep Micro guessing. And then once Micro, I like the idea of pushing out once he got a little bit of damage, knew that the wrap through the smoke was coming. He wanted to push out, but the timing for Crow's peak on the left side, perfect, able to get the win.
Nice play there. It's not necessarily a coin flip, but well played in a very, very tight situation. The Rumblers, however, picked up a ton of kills through that end game. And I got to say, Crow, I'm not sure if that was his first kill, but he was close. I think he came into this game with no kills or very little kills, but that is a massive, massive play under pressure for him. So congrats to Denial, picking up a very, very tight victory.
Yes, but the Rumblers, they were using the high ground to their advantage the entire time. They didn't get first place, but they picked up so many kills. I didn't see exactly how many they had at the end, but I wouldn't be surprised if they actually picked up enough points to get more points this game than Denial did.
Yeah, I mean, that was a clinical performance for them on the DMR side of the game, where with their high ground, with the lateral vision they had to teams like United, we listened to them talking, there was just no cover for them to work with. And because of that, the Rumblers were able to continually pick up points consistently through the entire game.
Yeah, just using the high ground. That's what the Rumblers have been doing so well, is once they're in a position to get kills and collect them, they get them quickly. They are very low on damage, but coming in today, they were first in kills, so they can finish those fights off as they start. No, none of those. We get a knock, but they get a revive. Get another knock, another revive. They just finish them and they collect the points, and that's where they came in first. I think you said they were tied for second coming into this game, but this might put them right back on top.
I'm pretty sure with that performance, they'll likely be atop the leaderboard once again. But the interesting part about that spot on Miramar is the high-low issue. Like Lazarus, they had a great spot in the zone, but they can't see anything from that high position in the circle. So they weren't able to pick up that many points. They lose a couple of players here and there, and just like that, Wildcard comes from the south and completely destroys them. I mean, that was a nice play from Wildcard, but that southern side cam, so hard to deal with the elevation.
And that's actually one reason why we saw so few teams with more than 2 or 3 players, because in that area, it's so easy once you get a knock to get the flush before you're traded out, because it's the Rocky and the rolling hills, it's so hard to take a clean fight that you can save everyone that was in it.
Absolutely. Well, it was denial in the end. They take the victory, and it looks like we got Define Legit standing by with Rachel.
You are correct, sir. And I'm glad you recognized him. You got the stellar haircut now. We were reminiscing to the very first interview I did for the all of NPL preseason. It was you. Now I finally get to talk to you again here. Tell me a little bit about the journey of your team in Phase 2 here.
So we had a quick start with the first win in the phase, and then we kind of just fell off. So slowly but surely we're trying to get our footing and get back into it. Two of our players had a bit of a rough beginning, and they're really turning it around now. One of them just clutched it up for us, so you can't ask for more.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about what it was like on comms there with Crow, last alive, gotta get that kill. Were you silent? Were you feeding him info?
So when he is clutching in the 1v1, we are pretty quiet. We do feed him info up until the 1v1. We help keep track of who's around him, who they are, how many people they have up, stuff like that. Yeah, it was just a small kill win, but it's what we needed. We lost some people early on. The circle kept shifting hard south on us, and we just had to chase it, and it ended up working out. So there's not much to say other than my team stepping it up, and that's what we got to do.
Well, you're talking about they're stepping it up. You're talking about good performances. But if you had to isolate one factor that was the difference in you winning this game and you losing the other games this week so far, what would it be?
Confidence.
Confidence?
Confidence,
And
yeah.
where do you find that confidence?
You just create it. You get it from winning a game here and there. You get it from playing well. You get it from practice, things like that. But for the most part, you just create it in your head. You just have to be irrationally confident and play every game one step at a time, one game at a time. And as our friends at Lazarus would say, you got to have next game mentality.
All right, well, we'll let you work on that next game mentality. And part of having confidence is finding it, but part of it is earning it. So that victory did that for you. Just now, we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, way more PUBG.